What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Absolutely phenomenal day. I want to give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what really moved it higher, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did go up 4.07%. So welcome to the 16s, new 52-week high of $16.16. This is probably the best case scenario on how it was going to play out leading into Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving in advance to all the Americans out there. But yeah, honestly, very good day. Kind of low volume, but that was anticipated. So 47.7 million for volume, 58.7 is the average. These are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So some pretty big transactions after hours. So 10.7, 5.5. Another 10.7, 38 million just in one transaction right here. So 2.3 million shares, 1.6, and then first thing as well, so 3.3. All lot of good data. So you had a lot of buying that was kind of piggybacking off of GDP. PCE came out and that kind of pulled the broader market back a little bit. Not really SoFi, but as far as PCE on a month over month basis, it did come in line with expectations. So 0.2, forecast 0.2, but the year over year was a little bit hotter than anticipated. So 2.3 versus 2.2. And so ultimately that did drag this down slightly. So the likelihood of a 25 basis point cut for the December 18th meeting did go down slightly. So this is why you had a lot of growth stocks kind of just get pulled back because of that data first thing. But SoFi just said, you know what, F it, and just went straight for it, straight to kind of huge, phenomenal, strong close. So no actual news associated to the company, no SEC filings. And I started to think, it's like all of this hype that's been happening this 2-3 weeks largely has been just because of optimism, macro conditions. Imagine if SoFi was to put out something of substance that they've been working on, possibly behind the scenes in quiet and secret. And if they were to come out with that, more specifically under SoFi Invest or possibly some other revenue source, then imagine what would happen to SoFi. So yeah, this is why I'm very, very optimistic on SoFi. Even though it just hit a new 52-week high, I think that it is going to continue this momentum. Shorts clearly felt the same way because they did return 171,000 shares. That was more of a common thing across the broader market, is just shorts were returning. Of course, with tomorrow market closed and then the market closed half day on Friday. Obviously they just want to maybe have a long weekend in peace and stuff like that. But as I mentioned, Friday will be a very key one just to see volume. If it is abnormally high or possibly even around the norm, then you can tell that it is a foreign entity that is shorting SoFi. So kind of stay tuned for that. But 13.52% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 144.02 million shares overall are being shorted. So I still stand by my viewpoint that shorts will continue to return shares probably into Q1 2025 and until it maybe gets around that 10 to 11% range. So honestly, absolutely epic stuff. Moving over to options, 30 million in calls, 4.9 million in puts, 43% of all the options being done were optimistic. And you can kind of just generally see that there was a abnormal amount of options being done. So yesterday was 27 million, 41, 54. Today was 34. So that was abnormal. So it does show that there's a lot of optimism. I did kind of mention yesterday more of a tentative warning that there was a lot more puts. So the put/call ratio was at 0.42. So it was going up slightly, meaning more puts were purchased. But it looks like that just dropped like a rock. So a hell of a lot of optimism. Of the call options that were purchased today, you see now a consensus relived optimism for it to be above $18 and now even $19 by December the 20th. So pretty good stuff in that regard. I did sell some puts, so I'm willing to buy SoFi if it does dip. So I've been doing $14.50 puts and also $15 puts, and that was before it kind of started to really move higher. And normally I do weekly options, but I kind of decided to break my rule and I actually did next week as well. Same goes for that in case there is a pullback. So $14.50 and then $15. And you never know, if it does pull up higher, then maybe I'll keep on selling puts. For those of you that don't know options, as I always say, just take some time, research, and all the other fun jazz. I've been kind of stating that I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Really recommend a lot of you to pop over there. But there is a free section in there that goes over all options, all different strategies, beginner, intermediate. I'll be posting probably in the next couple of days the more advanced stuff, but definitely take some time to research and better yourself as an investor. But that's what I've been doing, and clearly a lot of other individuals, because a lot of big money has been getting in. So right now with it at $16.12 where it did close, obviously it's going up after hours, but $16.12, it is trading between these 2 points, so this R2 and R1. So $15.80 will be the strong support that you want to watch for on Friday, and then $16.29 is going to be that next strong target that you want to watch for it to get above. Historically, Friday does have a very low volume, so it'll be interesting to see how that does all play out. But regardless, kind of just watch for those. And just moving over here, no new analyst ratings, nothing like that, but on the actual chart itself, still very good. So above the ALMA, above all the key moving averages. The only thing as well I've been stating, it's just the fact that it is overbought. So first sign of weakness, whether it be macro or whatever, you could see a kind of a pullback, but SoFi seems to be fairly resilient to absolutely everything, because the PCE that came out kind of hit and miss a little bit. So that could have really justified a SoFi pullback. But like I said, I think there's just FOMO like now 8.0 kicking in for SoFi, and it's absolutely epic stuff. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, if you've been selling, what have you been doing with SoFi. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Do you have any plans for Thanksgiving for all the Americans out there, or possibly if you're celebrating some other thing or whatever, you just want to take the day off, markets closed, so kind of some investors might not be happy with that, but it is what it is. I think everyone deserves a break. SoFi has done absolutely phenomenal. And with all that said, I appreciate all of you watching, and make sure you pop over there to my Patreon. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.